Pie has been around for ages, with the earliest written approximations being found in Babylon and Egypt, both within 1% of the true value. Unlike its delicious homophone counterpart, however, more pie isn't necessarily better. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory only uses pi up to 15 decimal places for robotic space and Earth missions, and scientists are able to calculate the spherical volume of the entire universe using only 39 digits after the decimal. Luckily for us, though, baking pie is less complex. Oh my god, I'm making the dough. So it turns out I was looking at the wrong part of the recipe. The filling only calls for a teaspoon of flour, and I have 3 cups of it in here. I went to work piling all of the flour back into the bag because nothing would stop me from making my mathematical pastry, not even the uncertainty of the universe itself. I laughed in the face of entropy and made the cosmos cower in fear of my pie baking abilities. I was going to become the poster child for confection perfection. This was going to be the best pie the gods had ever seen. They would soon bow down and answer to me, just for— So the next step is to mix the apples into here, and then you're done with the filling. And I'm no scientist, but isn't apple pie filling supposed to be, like, gooey? So, immediately after this realization, I sat down on the kitchen floor for 20 minutes and seriously contemplated choosing an entirely different recipe and just starting over. So, if you could, do me a favor and maybe forget about the whole megalomaniac shtick a few seconds ago, that would be great. Thanks. It seemed as if my pie hubris had not humbled me the way it was supposed to, and I was soon met with another obstacle. This should be hard to mess up. Famous last words. It seemed I had not yet learned from my fatal flaw of confectionery arrogance. You know, call me crazy, but I think we're gonna need more water. Did I add too much water? Yeah, so the dough was a little bit too sticky, but nothing a little flour can't cancel out, right? So I don't know how they got theirs to look so perfect. I'm not being as ambitious. I just want the pie symbol. This was the last hurrah, my coup d'etat of the pie that had bested me thus far. I would come out on top with the best pie symbol that had ever been carved.
It's kind of sticky. I may have spoke too soon. Okay.
I wasn't in the clear just yet. I had one final test. I had seemingly angered the great pastry gods of above, and in all my egotism, hadn't put enough flour down on the counter. My magnum opus was being seized by the hands of the granite right before my very eyes. I knew I had to perform an emergency operation to salvage what I could, but I wasn't an army doctor. I was just a soldier. I was tearing into this dough like a rabid dog would a carcass. I was massacring my arches to save it. Was this what creation meant? Rather, was this what it had to be? Must artists suffer for something worthwhile? If you cannot create art without pain, how can one measure whether or not the art will outweigh the discomfort? Was this my fate? I couldn't surrender my king to this cosmic game of chess. No, I was too far in. But it felt like all I had left were a couple of pawns. My mind wandered. If the Big Bang happened again, would everything play out in precisely the same way? Would I be doomed to this cataclysmic horror in every timeline? What's the point of believing in those pastry gods if all they've ever done for me is cause suffering? But then again, what's the point of believing in free will if the butterfly effect reigns over all? Would this monologue sound cooler if I had a British accent? I don't know! Coming out victorious is impossible. The attempt itself is nothing but futile. And we trudge on day after day, pushing that same boulder up that same hill. And for what? Some sly wordplay pie? Well, yes. Yes, damn it! This mathematical concussion was my purpose, and I'd be damned if I let some cruel trickster pastry presences get in the way of my Frankenstein pie delight. Meaning isn't spelled out for me by the heavens, nor is it implied in the stars. Meaning is up for my interpretation, and my interpretation only. And my meaning right then was this stupid, stupid pie I had thrown so much time into. So, screw you, pastry gods! Screw you! The pie was in the hands of the fates now. All I had left to do was to reflect on the journey I had made. All I had loved and lost, all I had sacrificed. Was all really fair in pie and war? Was it worth it? Would the reaped spoils trump the forgotten battles? I couldn't carry this grief with me, it was too much to bear. But how could I stand there and just let go of all those who helped me on my way to becoming a decorated pastry general? Is the absence of grief worth more than the memory of those loved? One questions why man must be stricken with such emotion. Its weight is too severe to be an evolutionary advantage, surely. This cosmic game of wit had tested me, and still I am unsure of the victor. For who can be the victor?
Oh, the pie's done!